السلام عليكم. Welcome back to another episode of Quran Weekly, where we read the Quran in Arabic but discuss it in English. My name's Ahmed,
And my name is Safa.
and we are happy to take you on another journey. Today we are starting chapter 5, which is Surah Al-Ma'idah.
Al-Ma'idah.
Al-Ma'idah, not Ma'idah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means the table.
Table, yeah. The table with, usually with food.
Yeah. The table with food.
Yeah.
And this is one of the last chapters to be revealed. Like there's the order in the Quran, and then there's the order of revelation. So this is one of the last chapters to be revealed. There are 114 in total, and this is number 112 in Revelation. But this is number 5
in the order of the Quran.
Mus'haf. Yes.
Do we know why the order isn't the way it is?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it was another thing that was inspired to the Prophet, how the chapters should be ordered in the Quran.
Curious for future renditions.
Yeah.
Maybe we can figure it out as we go along. But, before we begin, we must always explain that we are not experts, scholars, or linguists. We are not sharing these videos because we are an authority of knowledge. We are trying to learn ourselves and sharing our learning process with everyone. So we encourage you to give us feedback, to let us know what you're thinking. The more that we exchange, the more that we talk about it, the better that we'll try and learn. And the purpose of this channel is to try and learn the Quran, at least study the Quran in one form or another. It's not the final form, it's not the only way of studying the Quran, but it's just one way of doing it. And I think that we're happy to have you along with us on the journey. Anything before we begin?
No, it's
Cool.
good for me.
As always, we always begin with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, which means I seek refuge from God from the devil, and in the name of God, the most merciful, and whose mercy is most encompassing. And off we go.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أوفوا بالعقود أحلت لكم بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم غير محل الصيد وأنتم حرم إن الله يحكم ما يريد.
Okay, so we can see the theme of food coming in already.
Yeah.
O ye of those who believe, fulfill your contracts, your obligations, your oaths. It has been made lawful for you, the quadruped? The livestock, the quadruped of the grazing livestock, behemoth al-an'am.
Yeah, and in the interpretations also, it's not very clear why the two words are coming after each other. So some people understood it like if an animal has a pregnant and has another animal inside. So it might be this, or it might be just referring to the animals that we eat.
Yeah.
Like camels, cows, I don't know, different types. Sheep.
Goats.
Yes.
People don't really eat goat.
No, they do.
They do?
I think so, yeah.
It's not something that is common. I've just always seen. Camel is also surprising for a lot of people, but coming from the Middle East, I've heard of it a couple times.
They eat camels, yes.
But yeah. Okay, so it has been made lawful for you for the quadruped, which means four-legged, grazing livestock, except what is recited for you that it was not permitted to hunt while you are in ihram, which is while you are committing your pilgrimage, because we had in the previous chapter in I think Al-Baqarah, when it was talking about the pilgrimage, that you're not allowed to hunt during those times.
Yeah.
Indeed, God decrees what He wills.
Yeah, so you are allowed to eat what is lawful to you, except what has been announced as not permitted, which will come in the next verse. What is not permitted.
Okay. Clear?
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تحلوا شعائر الله لا تحلوا شعائر الله ولا الشهر الحرام ولا الهدي ولا القلائد ولا آمين البيت الحرام يبتغون فضلا من ربهم ورضوانا وإذا حللتم فاصطادوا ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم أن صدوكم عن المسجد الحرام أن تعتدوا وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان واتقوا الله إن الله شديد العقاب.
Okay, mouthfuls and a lot of things that I'm not familiar with. O ye of those who believe, here we go again, do not violate the rights of God.
The rights of God here, it's talking specifically about pilgrimage, which is like when you do the pilgrimage, follow what the sequence that you are supposed to do. So for pilgrimage, there are certain things that need to be done. Like, for example, they go around Kaaba, they use a stone to ragm. There are certain acts in the pilgrimage. So this means like follow the correct process. Or
if I connect it with the previous verse, one of the things that it was during the pilgrimage, one of the rites and the rituals is that you're not supposed to hunt
during ihram.
So don't violate the hunting rights, if I understand it. But also it means in a more broader sense, do not violate the rights of God, and do not in the sacred month, which you know is the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, there are a few months. Which Muslims are not supposed to fight. There are actually 4 months. Zulqa'dah, Zulhijjah, Muharram, Rajab. So we're not supposed to fight during these months. So here it says like respect the rituals of the pilgrimage and respect the holy months.
But here it says the month singular, al-shahr al-haram.
In the interpretation, it was actually al-ashhur al-haram, which are 4 months during which we're not supposed to fight.
Yeah, here it's also saying the sacred months. But if I'm reading the Quran itself, it says al-shahr al-haram, which translates to 1.
No, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Wala al-huda.
Yeah, al-hudi, which is like, it means that people used to give gifts to bring animals in the area of pilgrimage as a gift. So as a sacrifice.
Sacrificial animal.
Sacrificial animals. Yeah, so also respect that, which means don't kill it, don't ما تعتدوش عليها.
Don't transgress.
Yes.
And not the al-qala'id, the garlandin.
Which is apparently that for these animals they used to put some sort of decorate them in some way, like put something on their neck or something to show that these are for sacrifice.
Okay.
So also do not transgress on these whatever they are using to decorate or
and do not
Amin al-Bayt al-Haram means the people who are going to the sacred house for pilgrimage also do not come near them, do not transgress against them in any way.
The ones who come to the sacred house that are seeking the bounty from their Lord. And good pleasures. And when you come out of them, then you may hunt.
If you come out of ihram, then you're allowed to hunt again normally.
And let it not incite you the hatred of the people.
Yeah, this means that and do not let your hatred for some people that you attack them in any way.
Yeah.
Because here it's talking specifically that before that some people prevented the believers from going to the sacred house for pilgrimage. So then here it says, do not let that incite you against them or like make you attack them in any way. So like forgive in a way, just forgive them and always do good and act in a good way, even if someone did something bad.
And do not let it incite you the hatred for the people if they as they stopped you from the Masjid al-Haram, the holy mosque al-Kaaba,
the sacred house. Yeah.
If you commit transgressions or help one another
and then here it says help one another on the good, like support each other,
help one another in righteousness and piety.
Yes, and don't help one another on bad
sin
things.
And transgression or animosity.
Yeah.
And fear God, indeed God is severe of punishment. So here it's talking about what's lawful, what's not lawful, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and it's a bit complicated, but it's...
Yeah. And I think it's specifically talking about pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the month that is sacred.
Yeah.
All right, and here we get into what is forbidden and what is not forbidden from food.
Yes.
حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تستقسموا بالأزلام ذلكم فسق اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم فلا تخشوهم واخشون اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا فمن اضطر في مخمصة غير متجانف لإثم فإن الله غفور رحيم.
Okay, take it bit by bit. It has been made unlawful for you the dead animals. So if you find an animal dead and you didn't kill it in the name of God, then it is forbidden. And the blood, if there is blood in the meat, you have to drain the animal of blood. That's what it means to kill lawfully in the name of Islam. It's forbidden to have bloody steaks, for example. And the flesh of the swine, so pig. And again, this is something that we see in Judaism as well as Islam. And if you read the Bible, it's in the Old Testament because that's what Judaism is. Though for Christians, it's the belief that they believe that Jesus said nothing can enter your body that makes you impure or sin, and that's why they think that it's you're allowed to eat pork. But I find that to be a bit of a weird contradiction. And what has been dedicated to other than God in killing, if something has been killed for other than God, like if they've been made to sacrifice for other gods or rituals, then you're not allowed to eat it. And that which is strangled to death, and that which is hit fatally, and that which had a fatal fall, and that which has been gored by horns, so attacked by another animal. All of these things are not allowed to be eaten. And what has been eaten by a wild animal, except what you slaughtered and what is sacrificed on the stone altars.
Yeah.
al-nusb.
Yeah, this is also not allowed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So these are the animals that were slaughtered for another god or for another, for as a sacrifice to other
sacrifice.
gods.
Yeah. And that you seek division by divining arrows.
And this is also not allowed.
Yeah, if it was used for divination purposes.
Yeah, and this, from what I read, it means that at that time they used to have like arrows in like a bowl or something, and then they say, and one said yes or no or something, and then you ask, okay, should I get married or not, for example, and then you draw something, and it says yes, then you do it, or no, you don't do it.
Yeah, but I'm guessing there has to be something to do with the animals themselves, but it's essentially it's divination, trying to predict a future, trying to see the unknown.
Yes.
And that is a grave disobedience to this day. Despaired are those who disbelieved from your religion, so do not fear them, but
And
fear
fear
me.
So that means that the non-believers are now, they gave up on you returning to the way you were.
Yeah.
So don't fear them, but fear me.
Yeah.
And again, you can see a little bit, I think, that this has to be revealed like later in
the order of Revelations.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of saying.
I feel like it shows a little bit like it's.
Yeah.
And also it's like very detailed about what we can eat and what we cannot eat. So this must have come after already people had heard a lot about the religion and already were believers.
Yeah. This day I have perfected, I have completed for you your religion, I have completed for you upon you my favor, and I have approved for you Islam as a religion, and Islam means to surrender as a religion. But whoever is forced by hunger, then
not inclining to do sin. So
Not
if you're
inclining to do
just
sin.
hungry and there's nothing else to eat, then it's fine.
Then indeed God is oft forgiving and almost merciful. Yeah, so
You're doing it out. It means that if you're doing it out of hunger, not out of just not caring, then it's fine.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and this is very clear, don't eat pork. And I've been kind of like struggling because I'm a recent convert to Islam as of last year. So like being in the Netherlands, there's so many pork options. There's so many pork. Like going to Portugal was a nightmare. Not eating pork was kind of, it's really difficult because they put pork in everything. Like every meal that they have is just like a little bit of bacon, a little bit of speckkaas. Even like here they have the paellas with like small speckkaas. I'm like, I like the paella, but I just can't have it with the small pork things. So yeah, this is something that I personally struggle with, but I try to avoid pork as much as possible. But yeah. Okay.
يسألونك ماذا أحل لهم قل أحل لكم الطيبات وما علمتم من الجوارح مكلبين تعلمونهن مما علمكم الله فكلوا مما أمسكن عليكم واذكروا اسم الله عليه واتقوا الله إن الله سريع الحساب.
Okay. They ask you what has been made lawful for them. Say, has been made lawful for you the good things of what you.
So they ask you, this is to the Prophet, of course.
Yeah.
They ask you, Prophet, what is allowed for them to eat. And then, so say, Prophet, tell them all the good things.
Yeah.
Like everything is allowed, except, of course, what is mentioned before.
Yeah.
And what you have taught from the hunting animals.
And the ones who train to hunt, you teach them of what has taught you God.
Yeah.
So
this is also allowed for you.
So if you use hunting animals, which you can,
Yeah.
As long as they know the rules that has been taught to you before. So you can use hunting animals as long as they follow the rules and they follow the
Well,
condition.
yeah. Yeah.
Which kind of brings me to the question of previously in the previous chapter, we said that which is gored by horns.
Yeah.
So your hunting animals can't have horns, I suppose.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, what has been taught to you, what is taught to them has taught to you by God. So eat of what they catch for you, but mention the name of God on it, and fear God. Indeed, God is swift in reckoning, in taking the account.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can use hunting animals as long as they are taught by you what is good, what isn't, what is right, what is wrong.
Yeah.
اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم والمحصنات من المؤمنات والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن محصنين غير مسافحين ولا متخذي أخدان ومن يكفر بالإيمان فقد حبط عمله وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين.
Okay, it starts off with food and then goes into marriage.
Yes.
This day has been made lawful for you all the good things and the food for those who are given the book. So it's talking about Christians and Jews. It's been lawful for you.
And your food is lawful for them.
And your food is lawful for them. So their food is lawful for you, your food is lawful for them. And the chaste women of the believers and the chaste women of those who are given the book from before you. When you have given them their bridal due, being chaste, not being lewd, and do not
meaning that you do not take other lovers, or you don't take secret lovers. Like it has to be through marriage.
Yeah, or not the ones that have taken secret lovers.
I think it's talking about the men. So it's lawful for you, the believers, the chaste believers, and the chaste not.
The chaste believers and the chaste women of the book from before you, and the ones you've given them your due, being chaste.
And
not
you being, and you for you, so it's talking to the men, I think.
I don't see and you. It's just not the lewd.
It's because you can see here mu'minat, muhsanat, this is in feminine, and then this is in masculine. غير مسفحين ولا متخذي.
Oh, this is masculine.
Yeah. So it's talking here about the men that, you can do this through marriage, but you should not be, you should not take secret lovers.
Okay. And whoever denies the faith, then surely he has wasted his deeds, he has fallen in his deeds, and he in the hereafter is of the losers. I'm not going to quote Donald Trump right now.
No, don't.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين وإن كنتم جنبا فاطهروا وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء الغائط أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم منه ما يريد الله ليجعل عليكم من حرج ولكن يريد ليطهركم وليتم نعمته عليكم لعلكم تشكرون.
Okay, this is a very important verse because it refers to prayer, and it talks about what you must do before prayer. And I have a couple of stories for this. O ye of those who believe, if you stand up for prayer, or if you commit to prayer, then wash your faces and your hands. And wash here is to apply running water over it. So that's why we kind of put our hands there, and then we wash our faces. We do this before every prayer. Until the elbows, and wipe your heads and your feet until the ankles. But if you were a state of ceremonial impurity, aka had sex or had sexual engagements with either yourself or somebody else, then you have to purify yourself. And here it's understood to have to take a full shower. But if you are sick or on a journey, or it has come for you if you've gone to the toilet, you've relieved yourself, or you have had contact with women, then you do not find any water. So under these predicted conditions, if you're sick, if you're traveling, or if you had come use the toilet, or you touched women and you didn't find water, then do tayammum, which is to use sand to kind of do the same process and apply sand over to the same location with the earth that is clean. So wipe your faces and your hands from it. Wipe your faces and your hands from it.
It doesn't have to be sand. It can be like any turab.
Yeah, any dirt, it doesn't have to be sand, like earth.
Yeah.
It's just earthy.
Earth.
With it, God does not intend to make for you any difficulty, but He wants for you to purify. He wants for you to purify you, to complete His favor upon you, so that you may be grateful. So here's a couple of things. First is the concept of how long does purity last for. So this is when you do wudu, you're mutahhir, you're purified. And there's been scholars that have been talking about how long this lasts. And so they're saying if you're purified, then it lasts until you go to the toilet.
Yeah.
If you don't go to the toilet, it doesn't last. But the way that I read this is, the way that it says it is, these of those who believe, when you stand up to pray, then wash your face and your hands to the elbows. For me, it says, like, the condition is every time you pray, you have to wash. I don't see the purification. I see the mention of using the toilet, but that's in a separate condition. If you were sick, or if you're traveling, or if you reached the toilet, or touched women, and you did not find water, then do tayammum.
Yes.
But I don't see the lack of purification. I think the way that I see it is that you must purify before each prayer.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that most people do that. Like, if they go to prayer, then normally you go to wudu.
A lot of people try their hardest
to keep their wudu.
To keep their wudu and not pray, because they're like, let me just... It saves me time, it saves me energy. And wudu is a cumbersome process, especially if you're at work.
Yeah. Which
is kind of difficult. And here's a fun fact about my work. I work at Tony Chocolonely, aka the best chocolate company in the world, because we're saving the world of cocoa. But in the office, they have a prayer room,
That's very nice.
And in the prayer room, there's a sink.
That's very, very
It's
nice.
so like, because like a big embarrassment for like Muslims is if you have to wash your feet in a public toilet, because it can get messy, it can get difficult, and if somebody comes in, they're looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? So like there's shame, there's confusion. So me having a space at work that I can wash in private.
It's really
Oh
perfect.
my God, they have a towel and a prayer mat. I am so unbelievable. So
You're so lucky.
I would highly recommend buying Tony's Chocolonely just for that reason alone, not for the super tasty chocolate.
No, it's really good.
It's really tasty.
It's really good chocolate.
Yeah. And it's from a company that has a good heart, which is very good. But those are my stories about tayammum and wudu.
But I think it does make sense.
Yeah.
That here it says when you go to prayer, when you're going to prayer, just
when you
wash your face and your hands and
to the elbows, wipe your heads and your feet to the ankles.
Yes. So basically here these are the instructions for
before prayer.
Wudu, before prayer, yes.
To purify yourself. And honestly, I think it makes sense, especially here in the summer months, which like I imagine in the Middle East it's even worse. Even if I do wudu, and then like 3 hours later for the next prayer, I feel like there's like a layer of sweat and dirt. Okay. I feel like there's a layer of sweat, and there's power in water.
Yeah.
And there's power in running water, and there's something about it that kind of changes and purifies. So I kind of.
And it's not only in Islam.
Yeah.
I think in other beliefs as well, like in Hinduism or like the
in witchcraft.
Asian cultures, they also do believe that when you have running water on your face and on your body, it cleans you from negative energy, or I don't know, whatever it is. But it's in different beliefs, I think, that water is important for your purification and to let go of the bad energy and to let go of whatever worries you have.
I even read in a witchcraft book about hermetics that they believe that running water has that kind of energy. Even from a scientific perspective, the running water has a magnetism to it. It has an energy to it. There's like, that's how you find, you can use certain magnetic tools to find running water, just because of it has a charge just because of that movement, and you can kind of take advantage of it. So science, religion, they all agree, running water, there's something to it.
Yeah.
واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وميثاقه الذي واثقكم به إذ قلتم سمعنا وأطعنا واتقوا الله إن الله عليم بذات الصدور.
Okay. And remember the favor or the blessing of God upon you and his covenant for that which he has bound you with it, when you said we heard and we obeyed. If you said we heard and obeyed, then that is a covenant with God, and that you shouldn't break, and always be mindful of it. And fear God, indeed God is all-knowing of what is in the breasts.
Yeah, so of course it says here that this is reminding the believers of when they believed in the message of Muhammad, and they chose him like their leader, or But also what's interesting in the interpretations is that I read something referring to Adam, that apparently there is a belief that after Adam came, all of humanity like agreed to a certain oath or covenant with God.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know the source where this comes from, but it's mentioned there, and I thought it was very interesting. Because it says that all humanity, in a way, after Adam came, we all have a certain covenant that we agreed to, and a specific oath that we made to God that we will obey.
In some sense, I've heard something similar, where it's like, that was our covenant to come into this life, because the idea is that we all descended from heaven, or we all came from heaven, and the idea to go to earth was to be in a world that's maybe doesn't seem to be perfect, and see how well you're able to hold up the oath of being a good person, of doing good, of trying to do good. So it's kind of like our soul contract, so to speak. and that's how well we're trying to maintain it or not.
Yeah, so this is what is mentioned. And yeah, the first explanation is more specific to Muslims and the Muslims that existed at the time of the Prophet, that at that time when they believed in the Prophet, they said, okay, we will obey you. But the other one is more universal, let's say, like for all of humanity.
Remind me to talk to you about Children of the Alley.
You read it.
I've started reading it.
Okay, that will be a very long conversation.
Yeah, Children of the Alley is the book that Naguib Mahfouz won a Nobel Peace Prize for.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's just like
the allegory of Adam, God, Moses, Jesus, Mohammad.
Yeah, it gives the whole history from the time of Adam when he was in heaven, and in a kind of a metaphor.
Yeah.
So actually the whole novel happens in an Egyptian neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then there are different people,
different characters,
representing Adam, and then Moses, and then Jesus, and then Muhammad, and the angels and everything. So it's it's like amazing. It's just mind-blowing, like the way he makes the comparison, and he comes up with all these different stories as if it's something happening here and now and today, and in Egypt, in a small street in Egypt, versus talking about something huge like the heaven and God and the prophets and stuff. It makes it like, sometimes it's like, wow. Yeah. So yeah, apparently he won a Nobel Prize for it, because it really deserves a Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون.
Okay. O ye of those who believe, be steadfast and holding firm for God as witnesses and justice, and do not let your hatred prevent you, the hatred of people prevent you from
doing justice,
from not doing justice.
And if you remember, this was mentioned in one of the previous verses.
And be just is closer to righteousness and piety, and fear God, or be mindful of God. Indeed, God is all aware of what you do. Yeah. It's kind of, it feels like repetition, and maybe following the previous one. Remember the oaths that you've done.
Yeah.
وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم.
God has promised for those who believe and do good, righteous deeds, that for them is forgiveness and a reward that is great. Pretty straightforward.
والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم.
And those who disbelieve and deny our signs, those are the companions of hellfire.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ هم قوم أن يبسطوا إليكم أيديهم فكف أيديهم عنكم واتقوا الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون.
Okay. Of these of you who believe, remember the favor of God on you, When determined a people determined that they stretch towards you their hands, they lay hands upon you, but he restrained their hands from you, and fear God upon God you can put the trust of the believers can put upon God the trust.
Yeah, and I read that this is referring to a situation when the Prophet was somewhere with his Sahaba, with his companions, and they were all praying, and then these people planned to attack them during their prayer, but then God guided the Prophet to do something called the prayer of fear, which means that some pray and then some people protect them and then they switch. So this is the situation that this is referring to from the interpretations. That it says here, like, remember the blessing of God that some people plan to attack you, plan something against you, but then God protected you in a way.
Yeah. We have seen that type of prayer mentioned before I don't remember where in the chapters, but it was saying where some pray and some kind of protect them.
Yes.
So interesting. On to the next chapter. On to the next section of the chapter.
ولقد أخذ الله ميثاق بني إسرائيل وبعثنا منهم 12 نقيبا وقال الله إني معكم لئن أقمتم الصلاة وآتيتم الزكاة وآمنتم برسلي وعزرتموهم وأقرضتم الله قرضا حسنا لأكفرن عنكم سيئاتكم ولأدخلنكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار فمن كفر بعد ذلك منكم فقد ضل سواء السبيل.
Okay. And certainly God took a covenant from the children of Israel, and we appointed among them 2 and 12, so 2 and 10, 2 and 10.
12.
I know. I was just trying to say it out. 2 and 10, which means 12. 12.
It's just 12. It just is 12.
But it's just also teaching them the Arabic counting. So it's 2 and 12. It's also like the Dutch counting. 2 and 10. Yeah, it's 12 in Dutch. Dutch is 12.
Okay.
Ithna Ashar means 12. Leaders, and he said, God, that indeed I am with you, and if you establish prayer and you give alms tax, the zakat, and you believe in my messengers, and you assist and you loan God alone that is done goodly, then I will remove from you your evil deeds, and I will surely admit you into gardens that flow from beneath it, rivers, which means they're fertile gardens. But whoever disbelieves after that from you, then certainly he has strayed far away from the right path.
Mm-hmm.
What is it saying here? I'm truly...
So yeah, here it says that God made a covenant indeed with the children of Israel, and then what is mentioned is that he asked Moses to appoint the 12 different leaders for them.
Yeah.
And it was referred to before in one of the earlier chapters as well, that there are like 12 tribes from the children of Israel, and then there is a leader for each one of them.
Yeah.
And then God said that if you really are good, like you do these things, that I will be with you.
Yeah.
Like and how it's explained is that I will be with you, like I will make you victorious, or I will give you victory at the end. But then you see how the story continues. Actually, the next verses are also continuing talking about the children of Israel. So you will see where it ends.
Yeah.
فبما نقضهم ميثاقهم لعناهم وجعلنا قلوبهم قاسية يحرفون الكلم عن مواضعه ونسوا حظا مما ذكروا به ولا تزال تطلع على خائنة منهم إلا قليلا منهم فاعف عنهم واصفح إن الله يحب المحسنين.
In continuation of the people of Israel, so for their breaking of the covenant, we have cursed them and we have made their hearts very hard. They distort the words from their places, and they forgot a part from what they were reminded, part of what they were supposed to uphold that they weren't upholding of it, and do not cease
So
to discover
you
of their
will
treasure.
you will find from them like three.
You will not
You will
cease to find from them treachery and deceit
Yes.
from them, except for a few of them, but forgive them and overlook. Indeed, God loves the good doers.
Yeah, and here it's talking to the prophet.
Yeah.
That you will still find them like they will not really like you. They will betray you or they will do bad things. But forgive them and let go. And God loves
the good doers.
The good doers, the ones who forgive other people.
Yeah.
And the one who do good to other people, like do good and forgive. I think in Muhsinin is like do good and forgive.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at the beginning of the verse it mentions that this covenant was made, but they did not obey it, or they did not live up to it. So they went against it, basically, and then they were cursed, and then their hearts became like very hard, or like, their hearts became hard in a way that means like they're not kind anymore, and they do not feel anymore.
Yeah.
And that they changed the words of God that they were given, and this was also related to the prophet, because it was mentioned that in their book there was a description of the prophet who will come, and then they changed it so that it doesn't become Muhammad, so that it's not Muhammad anymore, that they changed the description of the prophet who is to come.
To be fair, I have read somewhere that their translation is closest, like the word that is in their scriptures is atmak, which is a slight variation from the name Ahmad. Like it's like one line of the two.
Yeah.
So, which has been changed from Ahmad to Atmak, which like is Ahmad in the Bible. I think that's the name Ahmad being mentioned in Isaiah 24. The Masoretic text of the Masoretic text of Isaiah 4:21 looks like this. However, the translations, my servant whom I support, Atmak, my chosen one, and my soul delights, I have put my spirit upon him, he will bring forth justice among the nations.
But it was Ahmad and then it was changed to Atmak?
Yeah, so here they say the root, this is used in the Bible. The Hebrew term corresponds to the phrase support, uphold. The root tamak is found 21 times in the Old Testament, mostly in the form of tamakta, tamakitika, many variations, but only once in this weird format, i.e. Atmak. Funny enough, it seems that Atmak is very similar in writing to Ahmed. There's if you notice, they're exactly the same word. Let me also zoom it in for all of our viewers. They're exactly the same word. It's just the first letter is just instead of this.
Oh, okay.
It's this.
Oh, that's a very, very small change.
Yeah, very, very small change, and very easy to change. So this is kind of one of the things that I've read. Of course, this is on Reddit, so it's kind of take it with a pinch of salt, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
That being said, I find it confusing that the Prophet's name is Muhammad, and he also believed that his name was Ahmad.
Yes.
I find that to be slightly
Strange.
It's
Yeah.
not something that you kind of expect. And you have seen the name Ahmad in the Quran as what Jesus saying that there's a messenger after me coming
Whose
by the name of
name?
Ahmad, which
Yes.
we all understand is Muhammad's name because of what he was saying at the time. So
Yeah. But I think that Muhammad and Ahmad, they both come from the same word.
root. They do.
They come from the same root. Yes, it's
Which
just a
is
different.
Hamd is thanks. So Muhammad is the
Yes.
one that we give thanks to. Ahmad is the most thankful one, for example.
Yeah. So they are in Arabic like very similar.
They're very
Of the-
similar, but they are different names.
They are different names now today.
Even like in the Quran, you can see Muhammad is mentioned many times,
Yeah.
but Ahmad is mentioned once.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
but yeah, these are the whole point is they've changed their scripture, they've changed their covenants, and that was
Yes.
their sin. That was what we're going for.
ومن الذين قالوا إنا نصارى أخذنا ميثاقهم فنسوا حظا مما ذكروا به فأغرينا بينهم العداوة والبغضاء إلى يوم القيامة وسوف ينبئهم الله بما كانوا يصنعون.
Okay, not to focus only on the Jews or the children of Israel, and from those who said that we are Christians, Nasara, which I find it interesting that they use the word Nasara for Christians. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same as
Messihin.
people who follow Christ, but it's Nasara
No,
is just
it's
it's a
not.
different name.
Yeah, and there is actually for Christians, I think the Arabic word for it would be Masihiyin,
Messiah,
because it comes from Masih.
which
like
is
from-
Messiah, Jesus.
Yes. So Nasara, I think, comes from, but we need to look into it. I'm just talking like.
Yeah.
I think Nasara is like someone who yansur someone else, so it makes it
A
to
victor,
support.
a
Yeah,
supporter.
makes him victorious.
Yeah. But and from those who call themselves Christians, we took also a covenant, but they forgot a part of what they were reminded of. So we aroused between them enmity and hatred, animosity and hatred, to the day of resurrection, and soon God will inform them of what they used to do.
Yeah, and from what I read, it might be talking about the different groups of Christians, like the Catholics, Protestants. I don't know. There are so many different
Lutherans,
groups. So it might be referring that the for the Christians specifically, they divided into many different groups and not necessarily liking each other.
Yeah.
And then here it says that God will tell them at the end, like on the resurrection day, who was right.
Yeah. We also have in Muslim cultures, some places they make a distinction between Shiites or Sunnis.
Yeah.
But it is a lot less pronounced. Usually,
Yeah.
like if you're traveling in a different country and you go to a mosque, they're not going to ask you, are you Sunni or Shia? They'll just let you pray.
No. And I think the differences are very small.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
but there's also some major beliefs that kind of change between them.
I think like from what I know, at least I'm not an expert, of course, but from what I know, I feel like the differences between the Sunnis and the Shias is kind of political, because mainly the Shia believe that after the Prophet died, it's Ali who should have taken the Khilafah, not Abu Bakr.
Yeah.
And the Sunnis are the ones who say that Abu Bakr is the lawful successor of the Prophet.
Yeah.
But I don't think, again, I don't know. I don't think that the beliefs are different, like what we believe in the religion.
The core principles, yeah, but that's, I mean, how different are the ones that we're talking about, the Christians? How different are the Protestants to the Catholics to the... There is quite a bit of differences.
There are a few differences in the belief, I think it's in the core belief.
Yeah.
Because I think that some believe that Jesus was the Son of God, and some believe that Jesus is God, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure again,
And some
but
believe,
I think
like the Catholics are more strict of the rules to follow, whereas the Protestants are not the. There's another word I forgot. The Catholics and the, I guess Protestants. I'm just thinking maybe it's Irish, but there's more liberal versions of Christians
yes.
and there is more stricter versions of it.
yes, yes,
But anyway, here it's saying the same thing about the children of Israel. The Christians also were given a covenant, and they forgot a part of what was given, and God created animosity and enmity between them until the day of judgment.
يا أهل الكتاب قد جاءكم رسولنا يبين لكم كثيرا مما كنتم تخفون من الكتاب ويعفو عن كثير قد جاءكم من الله نور وكتاب مبين.
I find this beautiful, actually.
yeah,
O people of the book, surely it has come to you our messenger, to making clear for you much of what you are used to conceal from the scriptures, overlooking of it much. Surely he has come to you from God as a light, and with a book that is clear. And while like there's a lot of differences between Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, this verse is saying that the purpose of the purpose of the Prophet, and the purpose of his message and this book is to bring to light a lot of what has been made hidden, and to kind of like, for me, like bringing light sounds so peaceful,
very
so
nice.
enlightening, so growth. It's like the whole point of it isn't just to say that you're wrong, is to improve, is to build upon it, is to fix the things that are missing.
Yeah, and I think the main point of religion should not be to blame or to judge people, but I think like it gives you answers, and it gives you guidance, and it gives you peace of mind in a lot of ways.
And hopefully the three religions can unite once more after the return of the King. The return of the King being Jesus 2.0. Okay, let's not use my comedy here.
يهدي به الله من اتبع رضوانه سبل السلام ويخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور بإذنه ويهديهم إلى صراط مستقيم.
Yeah, here it continues. Oh, I got a notification for reading Quran at 3 p.m.
Oh, it's not free yet.
Yeah. So with the light, that we were talking about in the previous verse, it guides with it God, whoever seeks His pleasure and the ways of peace, and brings them out of the darkness into the light with His permission, and He guides them towards the way that is straight, the way that is heading in the right direction, heading to the correct path. Because I find straight offensive. No, sorry, I can't stop. But either way, continuing with the concept of light and passing to the correct path.
لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم قل فمن يملك من الله شيئا إن أراد أن يهلك المسيح ابن مريم وأمه ومن في الأرض جميعا ولله ملك السماوات والأرض وما بينهما يخلق ما يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير.
Okay, thank you for joining us, viewer, because this is a very spicy continuation. The big difference between Christians and Muslims. And here we say, and certainly they disbelieved those that said, indeed, God is the Messiah, son of Maryam, which we know to be Jesus. Say, who has the power against God in anything? If he intended to destroy the Messiah, son of Maryam, and his mother, and whoever is in the earth altogether, then because for God the dominion is of the heavens and the earth, and what is between them, both of them, he creates what he wills, and for God is of everything all powerful and capable. Which is, it's a very clear saying, how do they say that God is the Messiah, the son of Maryam? And this is kind of like the logical counterpoint, because Jesus kept saying, pray to God, God is the creator of everything, God is all powerful, all capable. And Jesus didn't actually say that he was God. So how do you guys say that he's God, even though God owns everything and everyone, and how do you equate a man to God? Like that's where the main logical conclusion lies. He's also saying that this is disbelief, that those who say that he's God.
Yeah.
That's too much distraction.
What?
Too much distractions for today. Too many side stories. Maybe let's just focus on the Quran.
وقالت اليهود والنصارى نحن أبناء الله وأحباؤه قل فلم يعذبكم بذنوبكم بل أنتم بشر ممن خلق يغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء ولله ملك السماوات والأرض وما بينهما وإليه المصير.
And said the Jews and the Christians that we are the children of God and his beloved. Say, then why does he punish you for your sins? Nay, you are human beings from among those that he created, and he forgives for whoever he wills, and he torments or punishes whoever he wills. And for God is the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and whatever is in between them, and to him is the final return. So here it's about the chosen people of God. The Jews say that they're the chosen people of God. The Christians say that they're the chosen people of God. And here it's saying, no, God, punishes you for your sins, but you are,
and forgives you as well as he wills. So the continuation of it is that God created you, and then he will forgive to whoever he wills, and he will punish whoever he wills. So you're not different than just anyone else.
And you'll notice that this also indirectly talks about Muslims, because it doesn't mention that the Muslims are the chosen people. It doesn't mention that anybody is the chosen people.
Yeah.
Everybody is the same.
Yeah, and I think that this is like in all the verses that we have read so far, you find this a lot, that it says that who told you that you're special? You're all just, it's God. God decides who he will forgive and whom he will punish, and you have to be good and do good and follow these rules, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not if you're Muslim, not if you're Christian, not if you're Jew. It has nothing to do with that, I think.
It's all about what you do, and God sees us all as one.
Yeah.
يا أهل الكتاب قد جاءكم رسولنا يبين لكم على فترة من الرسل أن تقولوا ما جاءنا من بشير ولا نذير فقد جاءكم بشير
Okay. O people of the book, surely has come to you a messenger. He makes it clear for you of the interval of cessation from
after some time from
after
the
some
other.
time from the other messengers, lest you say that has not come to us any bearer of good tidings
So
or
that you
any
do not
warner
say, so that you do not say that you did not get someone to warn you.
to warn you or give you good news or the warning. But surely he has come to you a bearer of good tidings and a warner, and God is on everything all powerful or capable. Allah is most capable.
إذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ جعل فيكم أنبياء وجعلكم ملوكا وآتاكم ما لم يؤت أحدا من العالمين.
Okay, and when said by Moses to his people, so we know here the children of Israel, O my people, remember the favor of God upon you. He placed among you prophets, and he made you kings, and he gave you what he did not had given anyone from the worlds.
And in the explanation for kings, he made you kings. They mentioned that it might be meaning like you owned your own things, like he made you like independent.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of a king, like a kingdom, but in the sense that you owned your own things.
Yeah. But I do also think that kings is a very relevant term, because that's what the people of Israel were always looking for, and that's why David being king, Solomon being king, they were all kind of very kingdom, having a king to lead them, having a
They always wanted.
They always wanted it. It's a big part of their story. It's a big part of their search, and that's why they're still waiting for the Messiah to come. They're waiting for a king.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the true king.
Yeah.
يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم ولا ترتدوا على أدباركم فتنقلبوا خاسرين.
Now this is an interesting little passage.
Yeah.
O people, so this is Moses continuing talking to his people. O people, enter the land, the holy land, that was ordained by God for you. And do not turn away on your backs, then you will turn back as losers.
Yeah. And here, of course, the big question is, where is the Holy Land?
I think we know where the Holy Land is.
Yeah, I think they know where the Holy Land is.
Yeah, and this is kind of the big
Yes.
issue. This brings us to modern day Israel, Palestine.
Yes, but actually, why I mentioned this, because in the interpretation it mentions that it not necessarily, at least at the time when they wrote this interpretation, they didn't mention it as Palestine.
Yeah.
They mentioned all of the, how is it called, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, all this region, Sham.
Yeah, Bilad al-Sham, Levant.
The Levant. Yeah, that it might be in this area. And I think that there was a place at that time called Ariha in the Levant. And this is where this is specifically what it's talking about here, I think. But yeah, it is definitely in this area, in this piece of land.
But controversially, here it's saying God has ordained for you this land and you should not turn away from it.
Yes, but then you see the continuation of it, that they will then get lost for 40, that they do not follow what God asked them to do, and then they get lost for 40 years, and then the whole story continues. But
sure, but then if we take this in context with what they're doing now.
Yeah, but I think actually the very religious Jews, like the ones with the
dreidels.
Yes, I think they think that God has left them to that it is destined for them to wander the earth, that this is not the right time for them to be in this holy land.
Oh, you
It
think
is
so?
a holy land for them, and I think they do believe that it should be like their land, but I think the very religious ones think that it shouldn't be now, that
Yeah.
they were ordered to wander around the earth without a home.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah, do not turn away from the Holy Land.
yeah.
قالوا يا
Oh, sorry. You want to say something?
No, it's okay. We can just continue at what I was gonna say.
It's coming right now.
Yeah, welcome.
موسى يا قوم قالوا يا موسى إن فيها قوما جبارين وإنا لن ندخلها حتى يخرجوا منها فإن يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون.
So the response to Moses, they said, "O Moses, indeed in it is our people that are very tyrannical of strength, and indeed we are never going to enter it until they leave from it. So if they leave from it, then certainly we will enter."
Yeah, so this is even at that time, and
They're-
this shows a little bit their nature, like how they act, I think.
Yeah.
But then this is also the continuation of the previous verse, that it was told to them, okay, go in this land, and it is supposed to be your home. And then they said, no, we will not go in because there are some really powerful people in there.
Yeah.
And what I read is that they were also like very huge people, like they were very tall or whatever, I don't know. That they were very strong. And then they said, no, we will not go in. If they go out, then we can go.
Is this the Romans at the time? Or is this too early for the Romans? Because
I don't think so, no.
time of the Pharaoh might have been before the Romans. Yeah.
Yes.
But either way, they were told to, the children of Israel were told to not leave the Holy Land, but they decided to not enter it because they were afraid of the people that were stronger than them, bigger, taller, stronger.
قال رجلان من الذين يخافون أنعم الله عليهم ادخلوا عليهم الباب فإذا دخلتموه فإنكم غالبون وعلى الله فتوكلوا إن كنتم مؤمنين.
Okay, so when they were afraid to enter because they had stronger men on the opposite side, two men of them said, from those who were fearing God and had the favor of God upon them, two of those God-fearing men with the favor of God upon them said, "Enter upon them through the gate, and then when you have entered it, then you will indeed be victorious, and upon God you can put your trust, indeed, if you are believers." So here it's saying, even though you're afraid, go forth, go through the door. Here it says surprise them because it gives us a bit more context, and that you will be able to be victorious as long as you trust God and put your faith in God. And then what happened?
قالوا يا موسى إنا لن ندخلها أبدا ما داموا فيها فاذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنا هاهنا قاعدون.
Yep. So they said in response, they said, "Oh Moses, indeed we are never going to enter it, ever, and for as long as they are in it. So you go, you and your God, go and fight. You both fight. Indeed we are here sitting. We'll sit, but you go fight.
With
You-
your God.
With your God."
You and your God go fight.
Which we know that's not how God works. God works through us working, and He works through us. He's not going to do the work for you. So this whole you go business is not
Yeah.
not really believing in God, not really following His guidance.
Yeah.
قال رب إني لا أملك إلا نفسي وأخي فافرق بيننا وبين القوم الفاسقين.
So Moses said to God, he said, "O my Lord, indeed I do not have power except for over myself and over my brother," which we know is Harun. And so make a separation between us and between a people that are defiantly disobedient.
Yeah. But in the beginning of the verse, because it says, "I have nothing except for me and my brother."
Yeah.
But they put it, "I have no
Okay.
control." But I think like
Well,
to be like.
I don't own anything.
I don't own anything. I don't have anything. Like it's only me and him, and that's all we have.
But
Like,
I get the translation of power because I have no effect, no ability to control the choices. So because I don't
of
own
them, of these people.
I
yeah.
only can control myself and my brother. That's the only
Yeah.
people that I have power over.
Yeah.
So it's more of a linguistic thing. So
Yeah.
I only have power over myself and my brother. So please make a separation between us and between the people that are defiantly disobedient.
Yeah.
This is the last verse
Yes.
for today.
قال فإنها محرمة عليهم 40 سنة يتيهون في الأرض فلا تأس على القوم الفاسقين.
Which we know what happens next to the people of Israel. So God said, indeed, it will be forbidden for them for 40 years, so they will wander this earth. And so do not grieve for a people that are defiantly disobedient. And this is a story that is agreed upon by the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims.
Yes,
The
which is very interesting that we all agree on this.
On one topic, yeah.
Yes.
That the children of Israel, after disobeying and failing Moses, were cursed to wander the earth for 40 years.
Yes. And then it differs. Like I read two different stories for after the 40 years. In one story, after the 40 years, Moses was still alive, and then he led his people into this holy land. And in another story, Moses was already dead, and they went there with someone else. And like, I think after the 40 years, it's
A bit unclear.
debatable.
Maybe it'll come in the next verses.
Not the next
No.
one, at least, but
no.
maybe it will come at some point. Yeah.
Oh, we get the story of the two sons of Adam next time.
Yes,
Yay!
yes. But just about the children of Israel, because we also talked a little bit about what's happening today.
Yeah.
So what they are doing today, for sure, this is not right in
Absolutely. Yeah.
any way.
Mass murder.
You cannot make it right. Whatever is the reason, whatever is the way, it's like it just wrong on so many different levels, and there is no justification for that. And again, I think the people who are really religious, the Jewish people who are very religious, they think that Zionism is a political ideology, and it has nothing to do with Judaism, and they should not be there, and it's not the time for them to be there, and they should wander the earth.
But that complicates our conversations and our discussions.
I just really wanted to say that.
No worries. That concludes today's session of Quran reading, where we discuss it in English. We will be back next week and the week after and the week after. No more vacations ever. No, I'm kidding.
We'll see.
We'll see
about that.
But yeah, thank you for joining us today. As usual, we always end every session with Sadaq Allah al-Ali al-Azim, which means trusted is the word of God, who is most high in elevation and most grand. And we thank you for joining us today, and hi to those on YouTube, and see you same time next week. Ma salama.
Bye.